Top 17 Most Powerful Monsters from the Godzilla Universe. Hello, my name is Christian Harris, and welcome to Marvelous Videos. Godzilla has been one of the most iconic monsters in fiction for more than 60 years now, having been envisioned following the horrors of the nuclear bomb explosions in Japan. The almighty atomic kaiju has since retained the title of King of Monsters, but no one becomes the best without defeating the best. Over the years, Godzilla has faced multiple powerful entities that include everything from giant robots to aliens. Some of these behemoths have even managed to get the better of Godzilla for a while. And in this video, we take a quick look at the deadliest ones Godzilla has had to fight.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Destroyah. First appearing in Godzilla-verse Destroyah, this crustacean kaiju is easily the deadliest of the lot. The name is derived from the oxygen destroyer weapon that spawned him, with Destroyah growing very quickly. He starts in a microscopic form, then into an insect-sized one, before proceeding to undergo various other changes until he gets to his final form, a demonic giant akin to Godzilla with large wings, a horn, a tail, and spikes on its back. Destroyah spawned from the lethal chemical weapon that was used to kill Godzilla in the original movie in 1954. With incredible physical strength and durability, it is a near-invincible opponent. There are also some special powers at its disposal, such as the micro-oxygen ray, or the ability to absorb the DNA of its victims. The horn on its head could generate powerful energy and cut through Godzilla's flesh, and the stomach beam gave it a definite edge over the mighty kaiju. Despite the insane strength, there is a crucial weakness that Godzilla uses to get the better of Destroyah. It is susceptible to extreme temperatures that can destroy the micro-oxygen in its body. We've seen the juvenile forms of Destroyah destroyed with flamethrowers and cadmium shells. Even its final form could be defeated once Godzilla's meltdown amplified his atomic breath to an infinite heat ray. But why do we consider this to be one of Godzilla's toughest opponents? Well, the answer is simple. It fought Godzilla at the peak of his powers, and even then, almost defeated him. King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is often Godzilla's arch-nemesis, and if you consider the number of times the two have fought each other, you're bound to agree. This vicious three-headed dragon was first seen in the 1960 film titled Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster. He had come to Earth in a meteor and planned to destroy the planet just like he had once destroyed Venus. However, Godzilla had other plans for him and managed to drive him off. King Ghidorah reappeared in the movie Invasion of Astro Monster, where he acted as a pawn for the Zillions who invaded the Earth. Later on, this powerful monster was seen in films like Destroy All Monsters, Godzilla-verse Gigan, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, Rebirth of Mothra 3, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla the Planet Eater. Ghidorah looks like a golden dragon that has 3 heads propped up on a long neck. His giant bat-like wings power him to soar above his enemy, and his twin tails just add to the oddities. This evil and destructive beast from outer space can fly at speeds in the excess of Mach 3. His other incredible powers include the golden lightning bolts that he emits from his 3 mouths. He can also flap his gigantic wings at great speed to create hurricane winds capable of blowing away buildings. Besides these, his electric bolts, electric bites, and his ability to spit out fireballs make him a worthy opponent. Not many monsters can shrug off the atomic breath blast from Godzilla. King Ghidorah, however, is quite resistant to such attacks and is much more durable than most of Godzilla's opponents. Mecha King Ghidorah. Mecha King Ghidorah is the mechanically modified version of Ghidorah that was built using the comatose body of the original entity. After Godzilla defeated him in 1992, Mecha King Ghidorah was built in the future and sent back in time to fight Godzilla in Tokyo. This mechanical Ghidorah is not exactly a robot. A cyborg would be the better descriptor. It looks much like King Ghidorah, except that his middle head, wings, knees, and chest had to be replaced by cybernetic parts. This powerful monster is controlled by M11 and Emikano, but manages to retain autonomy courtesy of his two original heads that allow him to detach himself from his controllers. He has the power of a super quick flight at speeds of Mach 4 and can shoot laser beams and gravity beams just like the original. Godzilla began to wreak havoc across Japan after defeating Ghidorah. This is when the Mecha King Ghidorah was conceptualized as an anti-Godzilla force to protect the country. A ruthless battle followed wherein Mecha Ghidorah managed to lift Godzilla into the skies, and they both crashed into the waves. However, it did not take long for Godzilla to use his atomic breath and emerge as the winner. Mecha Godzilla. To give Godzilla a tough time, his enemies had to be just as intimidating. This is what brought Mecha Godzilla into the mix of things. This was a giant robotic Godzilla that resembles the 1970s Godzilla look. This robotic monster was created by the alien of Black Hole Planet 3 and was sent to Earth to launch an assault. It came with a disguise of pseudo-flesh to make it look like Godzilla, but once its cover was blown, we could see the metal underneath. In the movie Godzilla-verse Mechagodzilla, it managed to savagely beat Anguirus, and even troubled the mighty Godzilla. However, due to the damage caused by Godzilla's atomic breath, it was recalled by its masters. In its second attempt, it managed to defeat the guardian kaiju, King Keizer, but Godzilla once again proved to be a bit too powerful for it. Godzilla managed to create a strong magnetic field around himself, and despite its best efforts, Mechagodzilla couldn't fly away and ended up getting its head ripped off. The monster was rebuilt in the movie Terror of Mechagodzilla, and after some grueling battles, Godzilla managed to finish it off with his atomic breath. Though it was defeated by the King of Monsters, Mechagodzilla posed a serious challenge. It was built from space titanium that made it extremely durable, and was equipped with several weapons like I-beams, chest lasers, and missiles from its fingers and knees. If you thought the movie versions were intimidating enough, you should check out the comic series Godzilla Rulers of Earth, where an entire army of Mechagodzillas comes out of nowhere. Gigan. Gigan first appeared in the film Godzilla-verse Gigan as an alien cyborg that fought alongside King Ghidorah. It was a crucial weapon for the Space Hunter Nebula aliens, who planned to destroy the Earth. But Gigan and King Ghidorah were defeated by Godzilla and rushed back to space. But Gigan was back again in the movie Godzilla-verse Megalon. This time, it joined forces with Megalon, and once again Godzilla prevailed over the attackers. Gigan later appeared in the movie Godzilla Final Wars, where the Zillions controlled him to fight Godzilla, first in Antarctica and then later in Tokyo. Among all the rogues that Godzilla has had to fight against, Gigan probably has the weirdest look with the circular saw weapon in its abdominal region. Its hands and toes are large steel hooks, and a red cybernetic visor as an eye is pure evil. We loved it when the revived Gigan had chainsaws replacing the hook hands. This ferocious monster can shred its opponents. The rotating cutter is also an effective weapon, and range-wise, Gigan is capable of shooting laser beams from his forehead. There were some epic clashes with Godzilla, and we particularly remember the one where it kept hitting Godzilla with its hammer hands. It was pleasing to watch Godzilla blow off its head with his atomic breath in Godzilla Final Wars. Although Gigan has largely been a fierce opponent in the movies, in the TV series Godzilla Island, it became an ally of Godzilla and helped him fight other monsters. Well, exceptions don't make the rule, do they? Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla was one of the smartest opponents that Godzilla had to deal with. This crystalline Godzilla clone was an invincible monster with an array of psychic powers and energy attacks. Space Godzilla was made with some of Godzilla's cells in outer space and was first seen in the movie Godzilla-verse Space Godzilla. It looked like a bulkier and taller version of the big guy, albeit with two gigantic white crystals emerging from its shoulders. It had a strange navy blue skin with a patch of reddish purple on its abdominal region. The deadliest thing about Space Godzilla was its smart use of combat strategy that made it quite a handful, despite being weaker than some of the mighty enemies of Godzilla. While most other monsters were mere puppets for their masters to attack the Earth, Space Godzilla acts of its own free will. The first encounter with the King of Monsters didn't go down too well for Godzilla because he was defeated in a jiffy by Space Godzilla. Its accelerated healing meant that it could deter most attacks and recover quickly. It even had the photon reactive shield that could repel and deflect the lethal atomic breath of Godzilla, countering it with its own energy beam called the Corona Beam. Its psychic powers and ability to control the ground around it make it a foe to remember for all Godzilla fans. Even the King of Monsters needed help from Mothra to finally defeat the invincible Space Godzilla. Orga. This alien kaiju was a hulking monstrosity that could match Godzilla in terms of strength and regenerative abilities. It first appeared in the movie Godzilla 2000 Millennium, and was an attempt gone wrong in trying to make a perfect clone of Godzilla. It resembles a deformed Godzilla, all asymmetrical and irregular. The hunched back, bumpy, uneven skin, and purple dorsal fins are some of its characteristic features. One of the main motives for Orga is to defeat Godzilla and engulf him entirely to absorb all of his characteristics. Orga is not among the best fighters, and we mostly saw it trying to get away to a distance from where it could use its shoulder cannon. However, it makes up for this with its intelligence and telepathic abilities that allow it to summon a ship to fight alongside it. The plasma cannon on Orga's shoulder packs quite a punch as well. It required something special to finally defeat Orga. Godzilla allowed himself to be swallowed head first, and at just the right time, he unleashed a great atomic shockwave that destroyed Orga's entire upper body. Megaguirus. A sadistic, giant, mutated insect queen sounds like a perfect opponent for Godzilla. Megaguirus, or the Queen Meganulon Kaiju, is as deadly as she looks, and we saw this lethal monster in the movie Godzilla-verse Megaguirus. With the green spikes all over her body and bumpy purple skin, this vicious creature takes pleasure in causing damage and devastation. She aims to kill Godzilla and use the rest of his massive energy to strengthen herself. Megaguirus has the natural tendency to dominate, and her speed and fighting skills allow her to do so. While fighting Godzilla, she uses extreme agility to confuse him and batters him with a flurry of surprise attacks. It's amazing how the makers expressed emotions with this beast, and we can never get over the moment when she smiles after dropping buildings on Godzilla. Her sonic waves and strong winds, created from the flapping of her wings, caused disaster in Tokyo, and soon Godzilla appeared, unable to handle the challenge. He couldn't do much damage with his iconic atomic breath because she was way too quick. In fact, Megaguirus launched some serious attacks using her deadly claws and stinger, including a fireball from her wings after absorbing Godzilla's nuclear energy. However, Godzilla eventually got a hold of her stinger in his jaws and crushed it before using his powerful beam to make Megaguirus explode into a fiery corpse. It was a nice touch to use a prehistoric insect mutant to attack Godzilla, and the fans loved every bit of this contest. Hedorah. Hedorah was named after the Japanese word for mud, Hedorah. Why the strange naming? Well, Hedorah feeds upon the pollution of Earth and causes horrifying deaths and destruction. It was first seen in Godzilla-verse Hedorah, and later appeared in the movie Godzilla Final Wars. This monster takes several forms that start from a tadpole and quadrupedal reptile. The third form was that of a flying saucer, and finally, it took on a humanoid shape. The large yellow eyes with red irises are a distinctive feature of this hideous monster, resembling a walking pile of sludge. It's wrong to suggest that Hedorah is evil, because most of its attacks come from the instinct to survive. Its very nature and bizarre biological properties cause most of the deaths, but while confronting Godzilla, we do see a thinking side to it. The scene where Hedorah smothers Godzilla in sludge and laughs menacingly will stick with you. However, in Godzilla Final Wars, Hedorah was completely under the control of the Zillions and didn't consciously cause any damage. Eventually, Godzilla ripped out its innards and fried them using electrodes. However, victory came at a price, as Godzilla was blinded in one eye and his right hand got terribly burned. The main powers of Hedorah are its poisonous nature and the toxic sludge that can pierce Godzilla's armor. Even its blood can burn its skin, and it takes the credit for being the first monster to penetrate the Kaiju's hide. In Godzilla Final Wars, though, it didn't take much to defeat Hedorah, as a mere blast from Godzilla's atomic ray did the trick. Keizer Ghidorah. Does anyone remember Monster X, the three-headed dragon monster in Godzilla Final Wars? Keizer Ghidorah is the transformed version of that, and with its brute strength and agility, became one of the notable enemies of Godzilla. Like the former, it has golden skin, twin tails, horns, and spikes. The Zillions summoned Monster X to Earth to fight Godzilla, and after a relentless battle, it was subdued by the King of Monsters. However, after being defeated, it transformed into Keizer Ghidorah, and Godzilla was in for a shock. It sunk its fangs into Godzilla, sucking off his life force. Had it not been for the power of Keizer and ancient energy, it would have been curtains for Godzilla. It's not very clear if Keizer Ghidorah was mind-controlled, but he surely was one sadistic creature during the fights. It was a force to be reckoned with, and electric beams from its eyes and shoulder skulls causing considerable damage. It could also shoot anti-gravity beams and had all the powers of King Ghidorah. Keizer Ghidorah was able to withstand the mighty blow of Godzilla's famed atomic blast, and it's no surprise that Godzilla struggled to overpower it. After taking a severe beating, it was only fitting that Godzilla severed its head and tossed it to outer space, before blasting it with the red spiral atomic beam. Biollante. Biollante was the first major monster in Godzilla movies that was plant-based. The splicing of Godzilla and Dr. Shiragami's dead daughter's cells into a rose caused it to mutate quickly into a giant flower monster. It retained the consciousness of Shiragami's daughter and first appeared in the movie Godzilla-verse Biollante. In its final form, the monster had a crocodile-like head and sharp fangs with 6 large tusks. During her first appearance, Biollante was easily defeated by Godzilla, but things weren't the same when she evolved. The final plant beast form attacked Godzilla ferociously and even made him retreat after weakening him with the anti-nuclear energy bacteria. In the comic books and video games, Biollante is shown to be a violent monster, but in the movies, it defends humans against a plundering Godzilla. There are some epic fight scenes, such as the one where Godzilla charged head first into Biollante, and the latter closed its mouth around his head. Godzilla used the atomic breath to destroy her, but not before he was substantially weakened. Biollante could effectively use her tendrils and mouthed vines to strangle and blind enemies. Its acidic sap could also be disastrous, and the quick regenerative powers allowed quick recovery from Godzilla's attacks. With the touching story around this monster, you can't help but feel for its plight. Mothra. This giant kaiju gets its name from its moth-like appearance, and unlike most others on this list, Mothra is more of an ally to Godzilla. She is one of the oldest kaijus in the MonsterVerse, her most recent appearance being in 2019's Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It was once the protector of the world and was worshipped by ancient civilizations. An egg remained in the Yunnan forest in China, and it hatched yet again in 2019. While Ghidorah was trying to destroy the world, Mothra put in crucial efforts to locate and awaken Godzilla to fight alongside him. Mothra resembles a giant caterpillar in its larval stage, and then evolves into an insect-like body that has 6 legs and 2 wings. Its clawed feet, giant compound wings, and stingers make it agile and powerful. In this movie, Mothra is more of a tragic hero. It fights valiantly and even defeats the likes of Rodan. Eventually, Mothra was destroyed by Ghidorah, but due to her symbiotic relationship with Godzilla, her energy flowed into him, empowering him with the ability to generate pulses of nuclear energy and emit insane heat. This helped Godzilla destroy Ghidorah permanently. She had various innovative attacks, such as the God Rays that emitted from her wings and the Silk attack where she spat silk at her enemies. Sometimes, even the King of Monsters needs help from brave hearts like Mothra. Cyber Godzilla. Cyber Godzilla, as the name suggests, is a cybernetic monster that was made by reviving the corpse of the first Godzilla. It first appeared in Monster Wars Part 2 and was created by aliens who planned to invade the Earth. As you can understand, Cyber Godzilla was mind-controlled by its creators, who set it loose to destroy Tokyo. It was used to bring the son of Godzilla under the influence of the aliens as well. However, when he was freed from the mind control, it fought the cyborg form of his biological father in a fierce battle. Cyber Godzilla was also seen in Monster Wars Part 3, where it clashed with his son, the young Godzilla. After engaging battle, Godzilla managed to take it deep into the water and ripped out its internal mechanisms. Cyber Godzilla looked much like Godzilla and had some cool powers besides the atomic breath. The idea was clearly inspired by the likes of Mecha Godzilla and Mecha King Ghidorah. It could fire energy missiles from its dorsal fins and deflect sound-based waves back to their source by using the cybernetic dish on its chest. Cyber Godzilla was more durable than the organic version and was a tricky challenge for Godzilla to defeat. Megalon. Imagine a beetle that stands 55 meters tall. That's roughly the structure of Megalon, who also has 2 drill-like front appendages that can be used for burrowing or attacking. Combined with a shell that covers its wings, this bipedal humanoid monster is as strong as it is creepy. Megalon is very intelligent, capable of ambushing and strategically retreating to good effect to defeat human forces. It first appeared in the movie Godzilla-verse Megalon and was also mentioned in the literary works like Godzilla Monster Apocalypse and Godzilla Project Mecha Godzilla. The origin of Megalon is rather interesting. A group of people from a subterranean kingdom called Seatopia worshipped it as their deity. However, repeated nuclear tests by humans caused significant damage to Seatopia and enraged the people. They unleashed Megalon to attack humanity as revenge, and it's during this mission that it faces Godzilla and Jet Jaguar. Megalon has some remarkable powers, such as firing lightning beams from its horn and spitting napalm bombs from its mouth. Despite this, we admittedly wonder how long it would have survived against Godzilla without the presence of Gigan.
It's the Anguirus!
Anguirus. Among all the powerful monsters on this list, Anguirus holds a special place because it's the first monster that fights Godzilla in the movies. He first appeared in the movie Godzilla Raids Again, and since then has been a part of several movies. He has played Godzilla's enemy and ally in different stories, with some notable performances being Destroy All Monsters, Godzilla-verse Mechagodzilla, and Godzilla-verse Gigan. Anguirus looks like an ankylosaurus, and this quadrupedal giant has numerous horns on its head and a horn on its nose. He even has a spiky tail that adds to his dinosaur-like exterior. This remarkable monster has 5 brains to make it an intelligent and super quick attacker. It has 1 brain in its head, and the other 4 are in its limbs that help in their functioning. The incredible speed is one of its greatest assets, allowing him to react quickly to attacks and impale enemies or hit them with its deadly grip. If you add the miraculous healing ability, Anguirus becomes almost invincible. He has been a loyal friend of Godzilla and fought monsters like Gigan and King Ghidorah. However, in his debut, he was killed by Godzilla after some vicious fighting.
Duster 223, get out of there! He's on your tail! Get out of there!
Rodan. Rodan is a massive flying reptilian monster that was last seen in the movie Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It looks somewhat similar to a pteranodon, the exotic extinct flying reptile, and resembles a gallant bird of prey. The burgundy-colored skin and sharp claws and beak give it a menacing presence. Rodan, however, is not fixed on its support and sides with Godzilla or Ghidorah, depending on the situation. It was faithful to Ghidorah till the latter died, and since then supports Godzilla. We were in awe of the aerial maneuvers that were conducted by Rodan while fighting the Raptor Squadron. Rodan is also full of aggression, and his vicious fight with Mothra will tell you why. One of the special abilities of Rodan is that it can emit crazy heat due to its internal volcanic combustion system. It almost burned Mothra to death using this power. Rodan can also use its wings to arrange a sonic thunderclap that can leave buildings in rubble. The durable armor makes him stand strong against attacks, and the lightning speed can be used to outfly fighter jets. The abdominal stinger is also a very potent weapon for the monster if used correctly. Rodan might not be as popular as some of the other names in this list, but trust us when we say he is just as important.
And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.